And the words "because Keith" are quite regular in conversation about the comic strip, because Keith said this is much better than the comic strip presents. You're not allowed to call it that. Who else? Anyone else with a favourite?
Red Top.
Which one? Red Top. Oh, Red Top is fan. This is one of the things that we were talking about yesterday, which is I think the comic strip presents has aged incredibly well. There's a lot of comedy that was really important to each generation, that when you try and show it to the next generation, your children, whatever, they kind of don't quite get it, and it feels a little bit archaic. But I think this is one of the beautiful things about the comic strip, is that it still feels like, you know, whether it's Red Top, the Hunt for Tony Blair, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It has one of the most disgusting scenes. If Video Nasties existed, then that would be a Video Nasty, because it has a scene in which Tony Blair has sex with Margaret Thatcher. And I would say that's worse than any kind of eye damage that happens in Zombie Flesh Eaters. It's the most remarkable scene, if you've not seen it, because it is Margaret Thatcher as Gloria Swanson in Sunset Boulevard, and it's fantastic. So we're going to show you, the first thing we're going to show you is about 20 minutes of clips. Now it might not, sometimes, an interesting thing, which is Peter said they're not always his favourite comic strips, because a lot of the comic strips, it's quite hard to find a kind of 1 minute version. You know, a 1 minute thing that you can take out. But these are some of, I think, absolutely brilliant. We showed Gino Full Story and Pics in Henley last night, and that still has such incredible energy. And you'll see coming up shortly a beautiful, fantastic scene with a kind of quite mad Robbie Coltrane. And who remembers, are any of you old enough to have been watching Channel 4 on the opening night and seen Five Go Mad in Dorset? Yeah, you remember that moment? Oh, man, that was. Do you know the worst thing was that I could never. You know, you're meant to rebel against your parents. I couldn't, because my mum loved alternative comedy because she was a huge Enid Blyton fan. So she found nothing funnier than the fact that they had, you know, and Ronald Allen, who we might talk about later on, as Uncle Quentin. Absolutely brilliant. So we're going to show you a few clips, and then I think, hopefully, I know we're going to be joined by Peter, and we're going to be joined by Phil Cornwall, and with luck as well, I think Gary Beadle's coming along as well, as far as I know. So we'll have a cut, and you can ask any questions you want about the comic strip, about the alternative comedy scene, and about all their different creativity, the projects that happened, those that didn't, so occasionally the arguments they had. But here, to begin this celebration of the comic strip presents, in the first 20 minutes of some magnificent moments.